Today, we're smoking up a brisket flat. We're gonna take that flat part of a brisket, put it on our barrel house cooker. I'm gonna show you how to do that, how to protect it, how to inject it so you can keep some moisture in there, because remember, we don't have that fatty point to protect it. So stick around, let me show you how to cook up that brisket flat and bring it out tender and moist. I am Chef Johnny, and this is Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. Appreciate you stopping by. And we are doing a brisket. My baby girl came home from college and she asked to have a brisket. So we're hanging out at the pool, having a good time with her. And the thing about it is, I didn't want to spend 12 hours nursing a brisket, right? So we're gonna do this flat. It's gonna take us about 4 hours to get this flat cooked, maybe 4.5. But I'm gonna show you how we inject it, how we season it up, how I get it on that barrel house cooker. So, hey, y'all come in here, let me show you how we start this fire, and then we'll get over here and I'll show you how to finish trimming up this flat and how we get it seasoned up and onto the barrel house cooker. You can see I got a nice amount of Fogo lump charcoal in here. I really like the way this Fogo works. But we're gonna put this in here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 2 of these cubes, just the paraffin cubes. Y'all see them Academy or wherever you buy your barbecue stuff. And we're gonna light these up. Now, I could put a chimney in here and get things going. Just not gonna do that today. I'm gonna let this kind of burn for 20, 30 minutes while we're getting our brisket ready. And then once it's going good, I'm gonna get my lumps of mesquite and drop some lumps of mesquite on here to go with this, because I'm gonna tell you, this Fogo burns very clean. So let's let this fire get going, and I'm gonna show y'all how we do the brisket trimming. Here is that brisket flat, and you can see it's a nice, pretty brisket. Well, it's not a high grade. I think it was just a select. And folks, I'm gonna tell you right now, you do not have to go and buy a high dollar prime brisket to get a good brisket. If you cook them right, they can be very good at a choice, a select, or even just a plain packer. You kind of watch what you're doing with them when you're getting them, and pick the ones that look better. But what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna worry about, I got a really sharp knife here, and I'm not gonna worry about getting all of this silver skin off of here. If you wanted to, if this was a comp brisket, I would probably spend more time on this, but it's not a comp brisket, it's just for the family here. So we're gonna get some of this bigger fat off of here, turn it over and show you how we get some of that fat off that was between it and the point. If you go and listen to any of Cosmo's videos or him talking about comp briskets, y'all find those. He talks about what's worse, a little silver skin or a gouge in your brisket. Folks, it's a gouge in your brisket. It's a whole lot harder to deal with. So I'd rather try to render out some of this silver skin than honestly try to take care of a big gouge, because it's just easy to get down into this meat. You can see, you gotta put your hand under it and you can trim. This is not a comp trim, folks. This is a backyard home trim. So mainly what I wanna get is, I wanna get this fat. But a lot of this fat here also is soft fat, so it'll render out. I think for me, that's good enough. Let's flip it over. And here is our fat cap. And so this is our fat cap. We're gonna leave this on. I'm gonna kind of take a little bit off the edge here and just square it up some. Again, see that good meat there? That'll work great for our sausage. And I'm not gonna take a lot of this fat off either. We're gonna be cooking directly over the heat. So since our heat source is below it, this is gonna help protect it. And we're not gonna get just a ton of this off. And I tell you what, it is easier when your fat is cold, but I tell you what, folks, it's 100 and something degrees here in Texas today. So even though it came out of a very cold cooler, refrigerator, it ain't staying cold for very long. But that's not too thick. It's maybe 1/4 of an inch down here, so I'm gonna leave it. Now here's a thin area where it was up by the point. So what I'm gonna do is, a little thicker back over here, I'm just gonna take that right there. All right, that'll make good sausage renderings. And I'm gonna take off some of the sharp points and just kind of round them off. It's not gonna be long till our brisket's ready. I do have my extension. Not all these come with an extension. But guys, here's one thing I love about this barrel house cooker. That is, you just pick it up and set it on your fire. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna inject it. I'm gonna use some injection from LC Barbecue, their Angry Bull. Great injection here. If you're a comp cook, let me tell you what, fantastic. You can find LC Barbecue on Facebook, and if you use the code CJ10 at checkout, it'll give you 10% discount for Chef Johnny 10, CJ10. Just gonna inject this first, pretty easy process. I'm gonna take my mixer here. I got a little over 2 cups of water, and I'm gonna add about a half a cup of injection. Now, he has some ratios and stuff to put on there. If this was comp, I'd probably go heavier, but just being for the family here at home, we're not gonna go that heavy. So in here, just shake it out, give us a half cup of injection. And yes, I know I just dribbled some down on my brisket, that's all right. Not gonna hurt it any. Drop that in. These little mixers are handy. Got this one from Cosmos, but you can find them about anywhere. Anywhere they sell barbecue, but you get online, you can get them from Cosmos, and then just shake it up good. So let's get to injecting. Just gonna take my injector here, fill it up. I'll flip this brisket flat over. The grains are going this way, and I'm gonna go across my grains. So I'm gonna put it right there. I have a full injector. And what I like to do is kind of push it in, put my finger where the needle is, and as it's coming out, I'm gonna push in. Then just move up about an inch, inch and a half. Same thing. And I put my finger over the hole just so it doesn't all squirt back out. Seems like the worst time for it to squirt is when it's coming out. Then it kind of seals itself off and you don't have that problem. You can tell when you start getting this full, you'll see one is brisket. Oh, did y'all see that? Just it'll start pushing out of the holes that it can find. All right, just come back and same thing again. Right down here, I'm gonna kind of try to fill up that corner good. You comp guys know that these edges can be part that dries out on you. That's looking pretty good. I'm gonna save this because when we wrap it, we're gonna put the rest of this in with it when it gets wrapped. Set that off to the side. I'm gonna dry this off and I'll show you how I season it up. For my binder, what I use is Maggi seasoning. We're gonna kind of like a Worcestershire sauce, something like that. Sprinkle it on here for some nice umami flavors. Got that rubbed down good. Do my fat side now. So we're going back with LC Barbecue Rawhide. Great all-purpose rub right here. Myself a nice little coating of rawhide. And I tell you what, folks, Philip Breeden, the guy that designed this and sells LC Barbecue, he just finished #1 in the IBCA in the state of Texas. That's the International Barbecue Cookers Association. And he was #1 cook this year. So he must know a little bit. And this is his rub. Rawhide's on. Now I'm coming back with the coat of my rub. I'll put the link down below. Y'all see me use this on my chicken, and you see me use this on my pork a lot. Well, today we're doing it on a brisket. This brisket's a good chunk of meat. It'll hold a lot of seasoning. That's done. Let's flip it over. Here's the side. This is the one I'm worried a little bit about, but it'll be okay. Remember, this is for the family. If I'd probably round that off some more if this was a comp brisket. Little rawhide, LC barbecue. You can tell the wind's blowing today. A good breeze up on top of this hill. And now our rub from Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. That's it. Looks pretty. I'm gonna check the smoker. If it's up to that 275, maybe a little over, we're gonna get this brisket on there and get to cooking this flat. Take the lid off. I'm gonna take this flat and we're going down on the rack with it. And again, scrunch it up, always scrunch it up, always scrunch up. There we go. Lid's back on, about 2 hours, we'll check it. Let's pull this off, look at the color of the brisket, see if it's time to wrap. We'll see what this looks like in here. I'm liking the color. I think it's fine color-wise, so let's get it off and see if we can get her wrapped up. Boy, that flat is looking pretty. Let's see if I can get it up with this, oh yes, turner here. That's what I wanted right there. Trying not to mess with the bark or touch it too much. Right there. Pretty. That's what I wanted to do. Get the lid back on. This brisket it's pretty. It is pretty, and woo, man, it's hot. I would not say that this bark is set real good, but that's okay. We're gonna put it back on. Some people complain about when you wrap something in foil that your bark is soft. Well, that's true. But at the end, we're gonna open it up and let it finish setting that bark again. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna bring these pieces together and hopefully we can get it all wrapped together. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and seal this top really good, all right? Now, on this end, I'm gonna take it and fold it down, crimp it. Again, I don't wanna be able to lose moisture, so we're rolling it up, crimping it tight. Last thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of our injection right here, right? So we've got the Angry Bull, all right, from LC Barbecue. And if you'll notice, it's a little fuller than it was a while ago, right? What I did was I didn't add any more injection. I just added some water to it. And we're gonna take this, dip this up, and we're gonna pour this right in there with our brisket. So we've got maybe a cup and a half, and maybe 2 cups of liquid going in there. Keep this side up. Come in here, bend it all over. That is sealed good. Now I'm gonna pack it down tight with all my edges up. Now I can get this back onto my grill. Tells us we're up to 205. I'm gonna check it, see how it feels. I bet you we're gonna have to run it up a little bit more. I've cooked it kind of hot today. Sometimes you gotta get up close to 210 before it pulls smooth. So let's see how this thermometer does in it. I like the way this is. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna set it out for a minute. I'm gonna take it out of that au jus because it doesn't need any moisture. So I'm gonna get it out of here. Let's pick it up. There's one thing that these high heat gloves are good for. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reach in here, take this out. I'll set it right there. So now, you saw us do the crouch here, right? You saw us get the brisket out. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this au jus, and we're gonna mix some of this au jus with our sauce that we sauce at the end. But I'm gonna get this back on there. I don't want any moisture around it because I want this bark to get hard. All right, going back on the pit. It's closed up in there, 208. We're gonna check, see how it feels. It's still a little sticky, all right? We want it to go in and out very easily, so let it go a little bit longer. Sitting there like that, get it to temp. Then we'll sauce it, let it go a little bit longer to set that sauce, and we'll be done and see how this turned out. It is time to sauce this brisket. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my 0.50 cal from War Pig Barbecue. And like I said, you can find these at HEB now. And I've got some of the au jus that came off that brisket. And I'm gonna mix this 50-50, maybe 60-40. A little more of this than I do the au jus, but I'm gonna put them together. It's probably about a 60-40 mix right there. Didn't measure it, just eyeballed it. Put my lid on, shake it up good. We're gonna taste it some, see how it tastes, and if we like it, that's what we're going on with on top of the brisket. I'm gonna try to get y'all down in there where y'all can see kind of how I'm doing this, and hopefully I got enough light where y'all can see it. But come on in here and let's look inside this barrel house cooker. Lid's off. You can see that the bark is set nice on it now. Shake this up one more time. And I'm just gonna come in here and we're gonna coat it. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. We know our temp's good. I just wanted to thin this down a little bit. And that's what we did. There we go. Gonna let that sit on there for about 15 minutes. Once kind of the shine's off of it, time to get this brisket off. I think this brisket is cool enough to slice now. So y'all come in close and I'll give y'all some close-up shots of how it turned out. Let's see if we can slice this. The grain is running back and forth from this point, so come in right about here. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna see if we can pull a piece out and look at it. Let's move this. What do y'all think? Is that a pretty brisket? It has got a deep, deep smoke ring on it. Let's just lay a piece over here. It looks like it is nice and moist on the inside. We kind of waterfall these on here where we can see them good. Man, look at that. Beautiful brisket, beautiful slices. That is pretty. Let's take one of these pieces out of the middle and look at it. Look here. Folks, that is what you want to see right there. Lays across your hand. Got maybe a little bit too much tug, but not much. That brisket turned out great. It's this flat, you know, cooking a flat's a little different. You don't have that point to protect it. And so you have to be a little more careful cooking it. That wrap time I did, I could have left it wrapped just a little bit longer. Like I said, in IBCA, if you do a comp, they're cutting things with a fork. You'd want this to be a little bit more tender. But as far as the tenderness test, you know, if we look at it, it's there. It's nice, it's tender, you know, 1/4 inch slices. Again, it just drapes across your fingers. So could have went a little bit more comp-wise, but again, this was a backyard brisket flat. Did for my daughter today since she's home. So it is a good tender brisket. Nothing wrong with this at all. I'm liking it. The sauce came out good, and it tastes great. Let's get another taste of this, but I'm liking that 0.50 cal. It's a good bite. I tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed this brisket cook today. Came out fantastic. If you liked it, remember to give me that thumbs up. Always do appreciate that. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends and family about us. Share us on your social media, and we're going to see you down the road on Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. Goodbye, everybody.